Hey everyone, for today's video, wanted to talk about a question that I get asked a lot, which is how long does it take to implement an ISO 9001 system? So based on my experience, I think there's three factors that go into answering that question, even though really you can't answer it directly. First thing is culture. So the organization's culture is the initiative to implement ISO 9001 directly from management, and everyone is on board, from the CEO down to the press break operator, for example. Or is this an initiative from management and there's no real significant buy-in from down in the levels below the senior leadership? That's one factor that definitely factors in, because if you don't have full buy-in, the implementation tends to go a little bit slower. If everyone's on board from leadership on down, and this is identified as a strategic initiative to improve the entirety of the business, the implementation tends to go faster. Everyone's on board, everyone's excited, everybody wants to do this. So that's the first factor. The second factor that I would consider in determining the timeline to implement an ISO 9001 system is the resources. And what I mean by this is some organizations choose to implement it completely on their own. Generally, what I found is that takes a little bit longer because you have competing priorities. The other side of the coin is they choose to use a consultant like myself. And between the consultant and the internal team, generally we cut that implementation time in half at least, just because the consultant is able to focus on specific things and there's no distractions, as opposed to just doing it with your internal staff, which has competing priorities. And then the last thing is, systematically, is there anything in place? So some organizations that I've gone into to help them, they've had a quality manual, not a requirement of ISO 9001, but they've had that document. They've had process documents, they've had work instructions, they've had KPIs, they've had a corrective action process already in place. On the flip side of the coin, other organizations, they don't have anything. So obviously it may take longer if you don't have anything than if you do already have stuff in place. So that's just kind of a short video of the timeline there. Generally, like I said, consultants, it's beneficial because the timeline seems to go a little bit faster. Each organization, though, the actual time, the project time, is going to need to be dependent on several factors in addition to the three that I just talked about. So that's just a general idea. If you're considering ISO implementation, reach out to me, Smith Consulting Solutions LLC, and we can have a call and talk about your goals for implementing ISO 9001.